Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Gonna be giving you an update on some transfer news. So, Sergio Ramos is prepared to leave Real Madrid and he wants to join Manchester United. Sergio Ramos rejected a new 2-year deal from Real Madrid when Real Madrid asked for a 10% pay cut. I think Sergio Ramos wants to earn over £200,000 a week. Sergio Ramos doesn't fancy a move to PSG. Sergio Ramos has been at Real Madrid for around 16 years, so he has been a long-serving player. He's made over 600 appearances in all competitions, and he's won 22 major honours. Real Madrid got him from Sevilla back in 2005. They paid around €27 million. He is a centre-half, but earlier on in his career he was a right-back. But I think he'd go very, very well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. So that's the breaking news on him. Florentino Perez actually urged him to join PSG. Do you think he'd do very, very well if he came to the Premier League? Sergio Ramos is the age of 34. So with obviously him refusing to sign a new deal, he's going to be available on a free transfer. Now, I want to give you some news on Jules Kounde, if I pronounce his name correctly. Now, apparently, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified him as his #1 summer transfer target. Jules Kounde plays as a defender for Sevilla. He's valued at around £60 million. His performances have been very impressive for Sevilla this season. It also mentions that Juventus, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich are interested. He's got a contract with Sevilla until 2024. Sevilla paid £22 million for him from Bordeaux around 18 months ago. I think he'd go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. He is only the age of 22, so still young. He has got a lot of development in him. Want to give you some news on Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. According to recent reports, we are attempting to get Ousmane Dembele if we fail to get Jadon Sancho again. Now, Ousmane Dembele actually wants to sign a new deal at Barcelona. That means he now wants to stay at Barcelona. He's a good player, is Ousmane Dembele, but my element of concern about him, he is injury prone. He's sustained quite a few injuries at Barcelona. He's under contract with Barcelona until 2022. Barcelona got him in a deal worth 135 million from Borussia Dortmund back in 2017. And he is only very, very young. Don't forget we inquired about getting him on loan at one point, and Liverpool were interested in him. Solskjaer has told Ed Woodward that he wants backing in the summer transfer window. Because I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been backed enough in the transfer windows as he has enjoyed so far as Man United manager. And obviously Woodward promised that he'll back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He did say towards the end of last year that he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. And even when we was enjoying them bad periods under Ole, Woodward came out and assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. The board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time now. Obviously reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been, we've also overpaid for players. And, the board haven't backed any of the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired. Solskjaer's been let down in the transfer market yet again. But Solskjaer did say recently that we're not expecting any signings before this transfer window closes. But Solskjaer did say that fringe players could leave before this transfer window closes. Now, a few players have left us recently. Obviously, we saw Jesse Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. West Ham paid a loan fee of 1.5 million and they've covered Jesse Lingard's wages. Lingard's now reuniting with David Moyes. It did say that Marcus Rojo is set to leave the club. Last time I read up, it said he's on the verge of joining Boca Juniors. Rojo hasn't made an appearance for us since November 2019. Odin Igalo, he said his farewells recently to Man United. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, he left the club earlier on in the window to join Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, in previous transfer windows, players have left as well. We've seen players like Lukaku leave, Herrera leave, Sanchez leave. Fellaini left in January 2019. We've seen Young leave, Valencia leave, Smalling leave, Darmian leave, Angel Gomez leave. We've loaned quite a few players out as well, don't forget. Phil Jones, I haven't really heard anything about him. I think he needs to leave Manchester United though. Sergio Romero, Solskjaer confirmed that he can leave because his contract won't be extended. Daniel James, there was rumours of him leaving because Daniel James has lost his place in the team, and Brandon Williams has been narratives about him possibly going out on loan, but Solskjaer has confirmed that he won't be going out on loan now. Williams is our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. We recently loaned for Kounde Palistri out as well. I think more players will leave Man United in the summer. It did say we are looking to make around 4 signings this year to complete our squad overhaul. We need more signings if we are to be genuine title contenders. And I've given you the 3 areas where I think Man United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. The summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. But despite our reluctance to back Solskjaer with transfers and that, I still think he has made good signings as Man United manager. He spent over £200 million at the club. In the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Ighalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Kounde Palestri and Amad Diallo Traore. I do like the way that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has promoted the youth. You know, when Solskjaer first got appointed in as Man United manager, he did say that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players. And Solskjaer's recommended more young players into the club. I don't think it will be too long now before we see Amad Diallo Traore in the first team. Solskjaer did say not so long ago that Amad Diallo Traore could be part of the first team squad in the next few weeks. You know, he made his debut for the under-23s recently against Liverpool and he scored twice. We got him in a deal worth £37 million. You know, we paid 19 million up front and obviously the rest is in add-ons. Amad Diallo Traore to Man United was official earlier on this month. But actually the deal was agreed back in October. Now obviously we drew with Arsenal yesterday 0-0 at the Emirates. That's a bad result for us. You know, we are winless now in our last 2 league games. We also had the 2-1 defeat to Sheffield United. And the performance against Sheffield United was absolutely abysmal. You know, it was Sheffield United's first win at Old Trafford since 1973. It was just their 2nd win this season and their first Premier League away win of the season. But we've actually been very, very poor at Old Trafford this season. I think we've lost now 5 games at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. But we've actually been very, very good away from home. Reflecting on that draw yesterday with Arsenal, we've got a new club record. We are unbeaten in our last 18 Premier League away games. So yeah, we've broken that record from the 98-99 season. We haven't lost away from home in the league for over a year. Solskjaer gave his perception on that 0-0 draw with Arsenal. He did say he felt as though we had the bigger chances in the game to win it. And he said, though, it was a decent performance. Obviously, Edison Cavani had 2 big chances in the game. He should have scored at least one of them. Bruno Fernandes had a good chance as well, just went wide. Wan-Bissaka had a chance that just went wide. Marcus Rashford, he carved a few openings in that first half. There was a moment where he could have shot straight away, but he took too long on the ball. But when Rashford got near goal, I thought his decision-making was poor. His finishing was poor and his passing looked quite poor. So we certainly did have our moments in that game. Arsenal played well as well, especially the first 15 minutes of the second half. The best chance of the game was from Lacazette when he hit the crossbar from the free kick. Lacazette did have a chance in the first half, straightforward save for De Gea. Willian had an opportunity. It was a very, very good block from Wan-Bissaka. You know, Nicolas Pepe played well. He had some chances for Arsenal. Pepe had a chance where Harry Maguire made a good block. He also had a chance that just went wide, Nicolas Pepe. Gabriel Martinelli played quite well for Arsenal defensively. Luis, he got a man of the match. Defensively, he did well. Smith Rowe played well in that number 10 for Arsenal. Obviously, De Gea had to produce a good save to keep him out. So, analysing the game, you can probably say a draw was a fair result. We have not yet beaten Arsenal in the league under Solskjaer, and Solskjaer's not yet beaten Mikel Arteta as Man United manager. They've had 3 appearances now against each other. Arteta's won 2, and obviously there's been a draw. But I think now the title is fading away, and I think now Manchester City are the favourites to win it. Because City have just come out of nowhere. And I have been saying to you, haven't I, throughout the course of this season, that I'm very, very sceptical that Man United will win the Premier League. But we will win another title at some point, maybe next season, maybe the next couple of seasons. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. By the way, Solskjaer criticised Cedric Soares in the 0-0 draw with Arsenal. I think he told Marcus Rashford that Cedric Soares cannot defend. But our next game is Southampton at Old Trafford, and that's going to be a tough game as well. Southampton haven't done well recently, but throughout the course of the season, they've had some good games where they've performed really, really well. Southampton recently lost 1-0 to Aston Villa. They lost to Arsenal 3-1 not so long ago. It is very, very imperative that we get our first trophy on the board under Solskjaer. We haven't won a trophy for just over 4 years now. And these 3 trophies we can pursue. We can win the Premier League. The Premier League's unlikely though. We can win the FA Cup because we're into the 5th round of that. And we can also win the Europa League. I'm still only going to Solskjaer in, despite us being winless in our last 2 league games. Because we've been very, very good in recent months. Performances have improved. We've been getting good results prior to these 2 recent ones. Key players have been in form. And I've been saying to you, haven't I, that Solskjaer is bringing the old Man United back. Because obviously we have come from behind in a lot of games this season, and we used to come from behind a lot under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Solskjaer has been criticised a lot as Manchester United manager, especially earlier on in the season, reflecting how inconsistent we was. And I think we do deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer, because he could have easily have been sacked as Manchester United manager. This is his 2nd full season at the club. Will Man United extend his contract? As far as I'm aware at the moment, there has been no discussions over getting Solskjaer a new contract at the club. Solskjaer's got 18 months left on his current contract at the moment. But yeah, Solskjaer's going to be given at least another season at the football club. He's been Man United manager now for over 2 years. He's managed over 100 games for Man United in all competitions. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. A lot of Man United fans think we made a mistake by giving Solskjaer the job. We did give him it too early, but we're giving the job permanently because he did well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. The biggest concern about Solskjaer is his decision making, because in a lot of his games at Man United he's got a lot of his selections wrong, but there's also been games where he has showed tactical flexibility. Solskjaer hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, has he? You know, obviously before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde. But they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. But reflecting how long he's been with us, he's gained some managerial experience and he has learnt quite a bit on the job. It's just good that he outlasts Frank Lampard. But Solskjaer does deserve credit. You know, he's got us to the FA Cup 5th round. You know, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final earlier on in the season. We lost that game to Man City 2-0. He did well last season in his first full season. Got us qualification for the Champions League. Got us third. And guided us to 3 semi-finals. So we've got to take positives. We just can't beat the big teams. You know, and that's been proven so far this season. And we've had quite a few 0-0 draws, you know. 0-0 with Arsenal yesterday, 0-0 with Chelsea earlier on in the season, 0-0 with Liverpool at Anfield the other week, 0-0 with Manchester City. And people will say, you know, if you've got to beat the big teams if you are to be genuine title contenders. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, he knew he had a lot to do. He knew he had to come in and bring consistency back. He knew he had to come in and make the right signings. And like I've said, he has made some good signings, but he obviously hasn't got all the players that he wanted to get in. He knew he obviously had to get rid of the deadwood, and to his credit, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood. And we're going, like I said, we're going to get rid of more players in the summer. Solskjaer knew it was a massive job, despite him knowing the culture of the club. And I think he's handled it pretty well, to be honest with you. He really, really has. And don't forget, Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial eras who he's got playing better. You know, the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. But Ole is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. And we're not even really known as a sacking football club. We've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson left. You know, obviously under Moyes we brought Marion Fellaini and Juan Matarin. Under the Louis van Gaal era, we brought players like Slidling in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw. Herrera, Valdez, Romero. So yeah, they're a lot of the players we brought in under Louis van Gaal era, and Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into the club. We've spent over £1 billion on players since Ferguson left, by the way. There is good players at Manchester United, and there's a lot of players that we are going to keep. We'll keep Marcus Rashford. I think he's really, really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. You know, he's still having some bad games, though, is Rashford. Rashford is obviously playing out on the right yesterday. I think we need to keep him out wide, because that's where he's more effective. You know, but you can also play Rashford centrally. By the way, Rashford was racially abused on social media. Tuanzebe and Martial were recently racially abused. Martial will keep him for at least this season, but you know, Anthony Martial has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. He's had his chances, but he just hasn't been clinical enough in front of goal. A lot of United fans have been demanding Anthony Martial to be dropped. Obviously, we'll keep Edison Cavani. I think Cavani will see out his contract at Man United because he has made an impact as Edison Cavani. You know, he can score goals. His movement in and around the box can be good. He's done well. We'll keep Mason Greenwood. I think he's a foreseeable future for Man United. You know, don't forget Mason Greenwood was having a few problems earlier on in the season. We'll keep Bruno Fernandes. You know, Bruno Fernandes has been at the club now a year. He's our best player and he's the best signing we made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Bruno Fernandes recently denied that he needs a rest. Solskjaer actually said prior to the Fulham game that, you know, he denied that Fernandes needed a rest and he defended Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes won Player of the Month for December, but he's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Most of his games at Man United, he has been consistent, but there's been a few games where he has looked off the pace. Weren't brilliant against Arsenal yesterday, but as the game went on, he grew into the game. We'll also keep Donny van der Beek for now. I think there's a chance he could leave, though, in the summer. You know, Donny van der Beek's not getting his chances at Manchester United. I expected him to play a hell of a lot more than he has done. ESPN said earlier on this month that we rejected several loan offers for Donny van der Beek because we're blocking him from leaving on loan in this January window. Solskjaer recently promised Donny van der Beek more game time at Man United because he made an admission prior to the game against Liverpool in the Cup and mentioned that Van der Beek is unhappy at Manchester United because of his lack of game time. We need to play him more because Van der Beek is a good player. You can play him in 3 different roles. You can put him as a box-to-box midfielder. That was his predominant position at Ajax. You can put him as a number 10. Well, that's actually where I started in the game against Liverpool in the Cup. And you can also put him out wide. You know, we got him in a deal worth £40 million, paid £35 million up front, and there was £5 million in add-ons. And Van der Beek's got a contract with the club till 2025. I think there's a chance that Paul Pogba will stay at Man United, potentially past the summer. But Fabrizio Romano recently said that Paul Pogba's transfer away from Man United is still on the cards because he mentioned that Mino Raiola had been planning a summer move for his client. Paul Pogba played against Arsenal yesterday. Obviously, he was on that left-hand side in more of an advanced role. I thought he was quiet for the vast majority of the game. He had his moments here and there. He wasn't that good against Sheffield, either Pogba, apart from the first 10 minutes. But disregarding them 2 games recently, Paul Pogba's performances have actually been very, very good since he came back from that ankle injury that he had earlier on in the season. He was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. But he said that recently Paul Pogba's considering making a U-turn at the club. There's still a chance he'll sign a new long-term contract at Man United, but his future is on hold until the end of the season. Fred, I think we'll keep him because I think Fred's really, really improved under Ollie. You know, he's showing good attacking intent, he's breaking up the play well, and he's having chances. He had a good chance against Arsenal yesterday, good save from Leno. Fred just needs to read his game better. Fred's been at the club now a few years. We'll keep McTominay. You know, McTominay's been part of the club for several years. You know, McTominay played yesterday, obviously came off with a tummy bug. Obviously, Martial came on for him. Luke Shaw will also keep him because Luke Shaw's really improved under Ollie. Defensively superb, shows good attacking intent, gets in good positions, creates chances for his teammates, puts good crosses into the box. Just too injury prone is Shaw, but Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. We'll obviously keep Alex Telles. He's done well in some of the games he's been involved in as Telles. Harry Maguire. He's had good games this season, but he's also had some bad games as well. I thought in the game yesterday against Arsenal, he gave away a couple of needless fouls. You know, he's now on 5 yellow cards, he's Harry Maguire. Eric Bay, I think he started playing well since he come back, and we'll keep him despite him being injury prone. But Bay didn't play against Arsenal yesterday. We went with Lindelof instead. Bay just recently been injured again. And Wan-Bissaka will also keep him. He is getting better. In the game yesterday against Arsenal, he was good. He got forward well at times. Defensively, he was good. Had a good chance. So I was proud of him. And David De Gea, he's played well in some games this season. And there's been signs there that he's slowly getting back to his best. You know, David De Gea's been a long servant at the club. This is his 10th season now at Man United. And he's going to remain our number one for at least this season. We'll also keep Dean Henderson, because I think at some point he'll become our number one. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.